Yes, not surprisingly, the Memorial Stadium has been sold out for weeks as second place Bristol host local rivals and league leaders Gloucester. The visitors are putting this season's unbeaten record on the line, while their hosts haven't lost at home since April. Something has to give, and it promises to be a fiercely competitive West Country derby. Joining me in the studio, Will Greenwood and Dowie Morris. And Dowie, West Country rugby, it's in rude health, isn't it?
Well, it's fantastic if you're a Bristol and Gloucester fan, aren't you? But not if you're a Bath. But these guys won't mind, the supporters won't mind. You know, Bath languishing in 11th place, but credit to Bristol, credit to Gloucester. You know, Bristol, honest club. They've gone about their duties. Richard Hill's probably very surprised to be there, but they've gone about it. You know, they just do the right things at the right time. And Gloucester at the moment are absolutely flying. I mean, they are playing rugby with a capital R. Absolutely brilliant.
Who would think on a Wasps playing Leicester later on the weekend, both Heineken Cup winners in the last 5-6 years, and we're down in Bristol watching Bristol-Gloucester for the top of the table clash. It's a swing in Premiership rugby.
It's good for the game, though, isn't it?
Tremendously so. And both sides are stereotyped a little bit. I mean, you see the Bristol pack, and they say it's all about the Bristol pack, and then you see the Gloucester backs, and it's all about Lamb and Allen and Tyndall. Well, in fact, the Gloucester pack can mix it with anyone, and the Bristol backs have scored as many tries as anyone else in the league. They've both got real balance to the side, and that's the reason why they're both at the top of the table, because they both play when there are opportunities, but then when they need to dig it out and grind the results out, they have that ability.
But in these conditions, though, Dowie, the boys we're seeing there, the Bristol forwards, is it going to suit them more?
Well, it's supposed to get worse as the evening goes on. We believe there's gale force winds down there. You would think home advantage, you know, it's a packed crowd down there, you know, be a fantastic atmosphere. Maybe all the old heads are in that pack. You know, we call them the Dad's Army, the Cromptons, the Regan, the Hiltons down there. They just know how to win a game and close a game off. But equally, they've got backs like Leamy and Robinson that can change a game. So you have to have a balance. But, yeah, I would just say it would favour Bristol.
Well, the Gloucester players are out on the pitch. I'll tell you what, Dean Ryan certainly seems pumped up. Have a look at this.
Don't game break on it, OK? So just hit middle, come back and look and be patient. Pull penalties from there. Let's go. Great.
Yeah, they're up for it, no doubt about it. The style of play you mentioned, Will, is that a style of play England are trying to play at the moment, like Gloucester?
A balance. I mean, I think most teams, when they go into the field, they like to play a balanced style, but occasionally you have to rein it in if it's not going well in certain areas and confidence is low, which is what you're perhaps seeing with England. But these guys, both sides, tip-top in terms of confidence. Both sides feeling they'll go into tonight and get the result they both need to stay top of the table.
How important is the change at 10, Dowie, for Gloucester?
I think very much so. I think also at 9, Lawson's out. He's been called into the Scottish squad. He's been playing superbly. And I think I love the way Lamb plays. He's an impish guy who will just make a mistake 1 minute and create a try the next. I think he's been crucial to them. But again, Willie Walker steps up. But I think that will be a weakness for Gloucester tonight, not having Lamb and not having Lawson there.
OK, let's hear from Bristol's head coach. Richard Hill has been speaking to Will Chignell.
Richard, second in the league, even by your own high standards. Does that surprise you or not at all?
It totally surprises us, yes. We keep saying it, but we keep pinching ourselves. We don't think we should really be at the top there, but...
Why not?
Well, you look at the teams on paper that we have, and you look at the Wasps and the Leicesters and the Sales, they should really be above us with the team we have on paper. But our team are working very, very hard, and through grit and determination and, you know, scrapping some wins, we are there. We're just about hanging on to Gloucester's shirt tails.
Why do you think you're going to beat Gloucester tonight?
I haven't told you that.
I take it you believe you do.
Well, the players believe they've got a chance, yeah. I think this atmosphere here, if we can start well to get this crowd right behind us, because the atmosphere, I think this will be the best atmosphere that's been at this ground for many, many years. It's, you know, Gloucester and Bristol, top of the league. 12,000 sellout, you know, on a Friday night. It's going to be an absolutely terrific atmosphere, providing we can do our bit, get on top, get a few points up, and I think this crowd will get behind us and win the game.
Thanks, Richard.
OK, thanks.
Yes, sellout for the first time since December the 27th, 2005. That was a game against Leicester, a fantastic crowd. A word about Richard Hill, Dowie. You went to see him a few weeks ago. He's doing quite a job, isn't he?
He has just signed a brand new 3-year deal, I believe, and credit to him. He's just honest. You know, he's absolutely honest. They went up to Newcastle, lost that game, which they should have won, to be honest, and he said, no, the better team won. And then get on with it. He actually manages the players brilliantly. You know, these old guys in that front row, he doesn't bash them on the training field. He prepared for this season many, many moons. They were the first to come back pre-season training to benefit at this part of the season. You know, they'll have a rest two or three days after this game, ready for the next game. And that's what he does. He manages players brilliantly.
Who are his key players then?
Key players, we keep talking about Dan Ward-Smith at number 8. He's a blooming horse of a man. He got him out and stood next to another horse, Roy Winters. They've got some massive blokes in that pack who've just taken packs apart so far, but what he adds from the base of scrum, real power and explosive pace off the base, so that if you're stuck in a bottom corner like he did against Bath last week, he lifted the siege on his own and off he went upfield and made 50 yards without really, in a blink of an eye. And then outside him, there's a couple of Kiwis who've come over. David Hill at fly half, who has been capped by New Zealand at fly half this year, which I don't need to say any more. That tells you the calibre of the man when you think how good New Zealand's 4th team are. So if he's managed to get into the first team, he's useful. His kicking started in differently when he first joined the club, but he's finding his range now. And then outside him, a guy I played against in the Lions last year when he played for Otago, Neil Brew. He's just slipped in under the radar. A lot of talk about a lot of guys, but he stands in at 13, reads the game well. Very hard man. I got in a fight with him. I got out of it very quickly. I waited for the referee to land, and then I postured and said, "Come on, then what are you on about?" But knowing that he probably wouldn't swing a punch because he's a big lump. He runs hard, runs straight, and adds. He's one of the best Super 14 players the Otago have had certainly in the last 3 or 4 years.
OK, let's switch our attention to Gloucester then, sitting pretty at the top of the table. Their coach, Dean Ryan, has quite rightly attributed a lot of that success to the many youngsters in his side, and no one deserves the credit more than the New England cap, Anthony Allen.
Joy for Gloucester. That is how you take on the Blitz defence. What an angle from Allen. It's a terrific score. It's Anthony Allen.
What do you make of him, Will? Will he be back for England soon rather than later?
To see a bloke with a smile on his face, scoring tries, 20 years old, loving it, picking some great angles. Still got a bit to learn about his distribution, still got a bit to learn about his kicking game. But in terms of having the physical attributes, the pace, the mental strength to come back, he's come back from a couple of games where he gave an interception away, didn't have his best games, but he's come back to Gloucester, fitted straight in, playing really well, and he's such a talented young guy. You think he's got a very, very bright future.
Yeah, that backline's full of talent, isn't it, Darren?
Absolutely, and that's the way Dean Ryan wants to go at the moment. You know, they tried the old forward-dominated 2 or 3 years ago, it didn't work. They had to sort of reconstruct it in a sense, give the Lambs a chance, put him in at 10, and then people will play off him. That's what Alan's doing, and he's bounced back from the disappointment of England. He will be given another chance, no problem at all. He is a talent. He's come back to Gloucester, and scoring tries last week for Gloucester against Wasps, tremendous game, doesn't faze him. And that's what I like.
The interesting thing about tonight, we talk about Allen and Simpson, Daniel and Tyndall on the field, which is an amazing impact he's had. Mike Tyndall came back, I think this is his 3rd game or 2nd game, played very well last week against Wasps, doing these simple things well, playing in his favourite position of 13, got away from trying to play him as a 12, 13, drifted well, tackled well, kicked well, which some people don't give him credit for. And then I was going to call him Sinbad, his nickname, but Simpson Daniel coasted on the ball, looked comfortable, and it's great to see both of them getting a run of games without the pressure of being forced straight back into England before they're ready.
Bookies can't separate them, is that how you see it?
It is very much like that. The spread boys, I think, 1.5 yard choice, and it is 1.5 yard choice. It's like, they're undefeated at home, Bristol, in all competitions, and Gloucester undefeated in the league. Where do you go? I'll sit on the fence.
That's an enormous fence.
No, I will go.
That's the Chinese wall.
If you go on the website, you'll see I have gone for Bristol. I just think the home advantage, the nous of their forwards will just have a bet. In these conditions, I think it will play into Bristol's hands.
We shall see. It's set up perfectly. Let's head over to a packed Memorial Stadium. Join our commentary team. Ian Evans alongside Will Chignall.
Well, this game potentially has the lot for those that enjoy watching two teams steeped in history, age-old rivalry coming to the fore. It's right here. We've also got 2 teams in the Premiership, the best 2 teams in the Premiership. The lineups boast young stars, the future on show right now, and also a massive international experience too. Maybe contrasting tactical attitudes as well. There's something for everyone tonight, Ian.
Yeah, the league positions don't lie in this time of year. After 8 games, 2 talented, well-coached teams, solid defences in both of them, lots of exuberance, youthful exuberance as regards the Gloucester side, lots of experience as regards the Bristol side. Wonderful atmosphere generated here. I love seeing the crowd coming in early into a game, builds up the atmosphere nicely.
Yeah, it's really bouncing, isn't it? Richard Hill picks a very settled team, just one change from the side that beat Bath last week. Up front, the ageless three amigos continue. Dave Hilton at loose head, Darren Crompton tight head, Mark Regan winding it up in the middle. Roy Winters, who's been an inspiration this season, packs down in the second row with 37-year-old Gareth Llewellyn. If you're good enough, you're young enough. No Matt Salter in the back row. He's recovering from a dislocated shoulder. Nathan Budgett is 6. Joe El Abd is open side. At number 8, Downward Smith, explosive and dangerous from the base of the scrum. Ex-Leinsterman Brian O'Riordan is scrum half and enjoying a run in the absence of Sean Perry, who's with England. All Black David Hill makes only his 4th Premiership start, but is already showing how influential he is. Differing physical characteristics on the wings. 5'9", 11 stone David Limmy is back from illness and is on the left. 6'2", 17 stone Lee Robinson on the right. One you can't catch, another you can't stop. Take your pick. Lemmy's return allows Craig Morgan to revert back from left wing to fullback. Well, Gloucester's head coach Dean Ryan continues to pick a canny blend of youth and international experience. Starting at 1, Nick Wood is loose head. 34-year-old Christian Califano is tight head. The French international's been a big success since he arrived. He'll look to work in tandem with his countryman Olivier Azam, who is hooker. Useful contrasting attributes in the second row. Physical presence from Adam Eustace, the lithe and athletic Alex Brown alongside. Good to see Brown back after his injury problems this season. Andy Hazel not quite ready to return to action, so the back row trio sees the captain Peter Buxton at 6, former skipper Jake Boer at open side, 23-year-old Luke Narroway at number 8. Aidan Thomas makes his first Premiership start of the season at 9. Ryan Lamb hurt his ribs last match versus Wasps, so he sits this one out. Worldwise, Willie Walker moves from fullback to wear the number 10 shirt. Anthony Allen, who has aspirations of making it at the highest level, is inside centre. At 13, and a man who's certainly done that, is the World Cup winner, Mike Tyndall. James Simpson-Daniel plays left wing. Great to see him fit and on fine form. He always lights up a game. A joy to watch. James Bailey plays on the right. At fullback, Ollie Morgan, yet another young Gloucester player coming through the ranks. As for the replacements, well, the 5-2 forwards back split for Gloucester. Brad Davis being called back from his loan spell with Pertemps Bees to cover. 5 of the Gloucester bench are 23 or younger. Well, all this excitement to be played in front of a sellout crowd. The atmosphere is superb. Dean Ryan talks about building a team for the future, predominantly around English-based players. It's about a long-term attitude to development. However, the excitement about what this club can achieve this season is growing. It's certainly a real test away from Kingsholm tonight, though. Gloucester are the only team to remain unbeaten in the league this campaign. Will that run continue tonight?
Bristol are undefeated here at the Memorial Ground. A lot of pressure on that team. Played some sparkling rugby. There's a lot of talent in that back line. A lot of the battle will be up front, as it always is, particularly if the weather turns nasty here. We're expecting heavy rain and wind later on, and that's where the pack comes to the forefront. And that's where the Gloucester faithfully hoping that this Gloucester pack turn up. And the likes of that man, Alex Brown, back from injuries, he said he's going to be critical with Bortolami on international duty. His ability, particularly to steal ball as well as securing good quality ball for his backline, and that man, his experience in midfield as well. I said lots of youth alongside him, Anthony Allen, James Bailey and Ollie Morgan, but his ability to carry the ball up the midfield and his kicking ability as well can be all important.
Bristol unbeaten then in all competitions here at the Memorial Ground this season. Some of the top sides in the country, the likes of Wasps and Sale, have come down here and been dispatched. There is a phenomenal team spirit. It's a very well organised lineup from the players to the coaches. They are enjoying success and want more of it. Who can call themselves not only the best in the West, but at this moment in time, the form side in England.
See the rain coming in, you can see the atmosphere generated already. Big crowd, as I mentioned, they were here a good hour before the kick-off, ready for the battle. There's a man, Neil Brew, in his battle with Mike Tyndall. Two good ball-carrying centres, very strong in the tackle. Want to get across the game line. I want to ensure good, quick ball for the next phase of tackles as well. And Gareth Llewellyn and Roy Winters as well. Good starts last week against Bath. I want to carry on in similar vein here. And he's back on line out with Alex Brown. A major bearing on the outcome of this game.
Referee Rob Debney, fluent in 3 languages. He used to play in the front row, apparently, so that might come in handy tonight. There's some wily characters propping for both teams. As for the conditions, well, pretty dry earlier, but now the rain is beginning to come down and 40-mile-an-hour winds are expected right to left as the game progresses.
Thank you. Blue.
Atmosphere is superb. Noisy, passionate, and we're off as Gloucester lock horns with Bristol. Off the leg, says a referee. Greasy ball. Up it goes. Simpson Daniel comes across, but it doesn't reach him. Ball is loose. Hilton tries to go down on it. Advantage being played at Gloucester.
The winner's already playing tricks. Balling up, no one really claimed it. Mistake from Budget at the start of that. That kick-off went through the breadbasket there. Should have caught that, perhaps took his eyes off the ball. Bristol quite fortunate to get away with that.
Flat, crouch and hold, engage!
Gloucester with 3 stones or so at advantage. Nick Wood up against Darren Crompton. Dave Hilton against Christian Califano, 2 very experienced internationals. Out, says the referee. Narrow away the man to pick up there.
Release!
Gloucester want this clean ball. Buxton. Pick and drive. Penalty to Bristol.
The penalty is narrow with it. Obstruction. Good driving play up to that point by Gloucester. Guilty of obstruction.
Dave Hill with a good clearance upfield. 2 exemplary lineouts tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how they try and carve each other up. Bristol with an 85% success rate.
And they lose those figures very well. Punching the midfield, getting across that game line.
All sorts of options for Mark Regan and Bristol. Roy Winters, possible option. And he's been pretty good at the front. Budget goes up. That's exactly what Gloucester wanted. Thomas to Walker, pumping that one low. Craig Morgan goes back. And that was a fine drive upfield from Walker.
That was a terrific kick. I would have given Gloucester an awful lot of confidence. Stealing line out initially. And a terrific, well-drilled kick by Ray Walker. He punches that kick, really. Keeps it low, drills it. There's nothing Morgan could have done to stop that.
Yeah, greasy service, and he's also kind of skid on. Something of a camber.
Yeah, the ball being rolled towards the touchlines.
So 85%, but crucially, he's lost his first one, so maybe something to think about for him. And Roy Winters.
Well, that's what the Gloucester pack would wanted to do, put question marks in the hooker's mind.
Budget goes up and secures that one safely. Now the Bristol forwards explode away. Up it goes. Bailey's underneath this. He takes that well and then gets thumped for his trouble.
A terrific kick and a terrific catch there by Bailey, and an awful lot of pressure.
Play on, says the referee. Bristol hunting down the ball carrier. Good little box that. Buxton goes back. Difficult ball to take. Bristol have possession. Ward Smith getting his big paws on it. Now Bristol want this quick ball. Hill having a look himself. getting tackled.
Release, red!
Brew waits, so does Robinson and Morgan on this near side. They work the short side. Higgett trying to wriggle his way through, popping it up. Danger for Gloucester. Brilliant from Bristol. Regan thinks he's got it down.
Time off! Time off!
Time off, says the referee.
That's terrific play by Bristol. It all started from a lovely little box kick by O'Regan. Really turned Gloucester back on their tails. The key there as Regan tries to get over in the corner. Keeps his body down low. That looks a perfectly good try to me.
Yeah, he's got that.
But knocks back Bailey there. Keeps his body really low. Despairing tackle, couldn't keep him out.
Television match official Jeff Warren is just about to send his verdict down to the referee. Regan is confident. The Bristol forwards all back in their own half. They know it's a try. The referee confirms it. What a start from Bristol.
That's excellent play, must have been. Keep going back to that kick from O'Regan. Really turned Gloucester back. They held onto the ball, they turned over, they went through the phases, held onto their composure, didn't panic. Hill took the ball up, and then they went wide. No defenders, or not enough defenders for Gloucester. And that man, Mark Regan, went over in the corner. Now this is a little box kick from O'Regan. He spotted that Bailey had gone up and taken the kick initially. Nobody at home, trying to get across. Buxton trying to get across, making a bit of a pig's ear of it, and Bristol were there in numbers.
Hill then. Oh, he thought he had it. The wind was just cruel to him at the end. What a start from the home side, and now the crowd are really bubbling.
And they went through the half, got through mid a half break there. Good quick ball from our breakdown. Just allowed them moving and keep going towards the blind side. Well worked try for Bristol.
Hands off! Let it come, red!
Bristol take that one cleanly. And O'Regan, who's kicked from the base quite a bit already in this first 5 minutes, gets his clearance away.
That's good there, thank you, just there.
And he's taking the responsibility on his shoulders.
And again,
And
red.
a good drive there by Rob Higgett. A good offload off the floor, kept the ball away from our breakdown quickly, and kept the momentum going. And the defenders didn't have quite time to settle. And Regan took that chance well.
Azam throws and finds the target. Azam to Thomas. Walker taken up by Brew. Big, strong, abrasive ball carrier. As is Buxton. Trying to keep pace on this ball as they work their way through the phases. Eustace gets belted. Tyndall comes in short. Bristol working so hard.
It's a good steal by Winters.
Play on, good, go back, play on.
Morgan off his favoured left foot, driving that one into the top tier.
He really has stunned Gloucester into response here, using their big ball carriers. This time Tyndall taking the ball up. Good tackle, very solid, double hit as well. And who's in there? Winters stays on his feet, rips the ball out. And Bristol able to clear.
Not quite quick enough to Tyndall. And Gloucester forwards as he went into contact there. Roy Winters.
Hold the gap!
Very, very good performance against Bath last week.
Let's go! Advantage!
Slippery ball. And Bristol say thank you very much.
Roll away! Rock! Red, release!
Compton did well on that drive, took that ball.
Advantage over!
Hill, up it goes. Test for Morgan. He waits. He's pretty good under the high ball, Ollie Morgan.
Held from a kick. Hang on.
Well taken under pressure.
Hey, well, quit the dummy
Lots of
jump
blue
in.
jerseys around him as he took that ball, but didn't take his eyes off it. Kept his eyes focused, and that's quite difficult with the roar of the crowd as well, the thundering hooves. I mean, lots of people there, but well taken. And that's what his side would have wanted from him. You might well see quite a few up and unders today in these sort of blustery conditions.
he would have known that El Abd, the likes of Brew, were bearing down on him as well. He'll feel good about that high ball because he knows, due to the conditions, he's going to get a bit.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence. First catch under some fierce pressure. And there's a lot of blustery conditions out there. You expect to see the back three of both sides being bombarded tonight. And both sides want to play attractive rugby. And with the wind as it is, you expect the outside halves and the scrum halves kick the ball a fair bit.
Richard Hill taking notes up on the gantry with us. Of course, he's ex-coach of Gloucester between 96 and 99, so he'll be pleased that the West Country clubs are going so well.
He'll do, and he'd be delighted with this in particular. Good period of pressure, especially from another rubber kick. Good ball retention. Pass the ball away from the contact area very, very quickly. And the next ream of runners, and there's Gareth Willing giving Mark Regan a little helpful push over, and he's pleased. He's delighted. No. He's in fine form at the moment.
Aidan Thomas waiting for the ball, leaves it to Luke Narroway to take it up. Here's Thomas with the box kick. Not the best. Thomas playing because Peter Richards and Rory Lawson involved with England and Scotland respectively.
You'll have seen Reardon kicking well from the base. You want to do something similar, not quite as effective. You'll be annoyed with that. Giving the ball back to Bristol. It's his first start this season, and the kick looked like that.
Yeah, you saw him kick the ground in frustration there. This is Bristol. Hill. Forward Smith. Hill's always going to attract the flankers. He can run and make a break as well. Budget unloading. Hilton. Reardon. Brew. Ducking. Down and through. Powerful run over that leg drive as he went into contact. Budget. Robinson waits. Gloucester try and drive Budget towards the touchline, but Bristol do well. A Reardon. Hill. Getting double tackled, but well over the gain line.
These New Zealanders don't go down when you put a half tackle in. You've got to give them a first hit. It's got to be so hard, so solid.
It's Tyndall that got hold of Brew there. Reardon. Hill. Chipping it through. In front of the kicker, as Hill grubbered that one through.
Yeah, lovely idea though. That defence from Gloucester is up very, very quickly. Just execution. So the Gloucester defence coming up very, very quickly. David Hill, very sharp, and knew exactly what was going on. For that little grub kick, the call went in. But just possibly overrun. Doesn't look that conclusive from this angle, I must admit.
Marginal, isn't it?
But a great idea, and what that's done is, even though the penalty was conceded, it's put doubt in the Gloucester defence.
The referee was in a good position, he called it.
Step out.
Deadly the man trying to organise the line out there. Brown organising things, wants things clear. Azam. Thomas hasn't had a happy couple of minutes. It's turnover to Reardon. Hitting it to Bailey. Bailey working his way infield.
It's good work by Bailey to bring that ball back up, give his pack a chance to get back to him.
Walker, end over end. Looking to beat Craig Morgan, and he does.
He's done that twice now. Get that low spin kick to the corner, using the camber of the pitch to take the ball in touch, just to leave a bit of pressure. I looked at it, came off his hands first and onto his knee. I think it was a knock-on.
Who's on the line? Red there. Yeah. Red, out you come. Out you come. 6. 3, 6, yes, good.
Bristol on the 22 for now. Regan taking his time, getting the call right. Onto the tail, and Will Smith plucks that one out of the night sky.
And there's more than a one-trick pony. He's not only a ball carrier, he's also a ball winner.
Bristol are very efficient up front in this sort of thing as well.
Two sides very well drilled. And you saw that sort of work ethic, the collective responsibility of the team. You saw it last week when they win against Bath.
There it is. Let's go. Taken down by Blue. Taken down by Blue. Leave it. Go back. Play on.
Hill. Yeah. Low slung kicking style.
Good there. There's no panic in the Bristol ranks. They knew exactly what to do. By their half-backs, a little bit of time, a bit of space. And all that experience in the Bristol pack come to the forefront.
Brown stretches to try and take it, but Will Smith knew that it was slightly overcooked, and he was right onto that. Reardon, Hill.
Ball's right. Play on. Roll away. 6 red. 6 move. Keep moving.
Buxton being told to keep moving by the referee. Budget. Tackled by Brewer. Short. Crompton trundling his way over the gain line. Cleanly presented. Reardon again, and Hill. Tackle comes in from Walker. He's fighting for that ball. Trying to get it off Higgett. Advantage being played at Bristol. Zam thought he came through the middle. No, says the referee, through the side.
Bristol are standing up well in the tackle. They're riding those tackles, getting across, keeping those legs pumping. We saw Neil Brew do earlier on. This time it was Rob Higgett. He refused to go down.
Shot at goal.
Just kept charging, and that time Azam a little bit frustrated. Came through from the side because he did a penalty. But I like the way Bristol have started this game. Very compact, everyone knows exactly what their primary roles are. The forwards are winning the ball. When the likes of David Hill are outside half to dictate what happens elsewhere. A nice solid start from Bristol.
Yeah.
So Hill. This will be useful for an 8-point lead. That is very nicely struck in difficult conditions.
Yeah, very difficult. You see the rain teeming down there. Didn't put him off at all. Struck that nicely. Terrific start. 8-0 start for Bristol already. Crowd are loving every minute of this. Terrific start. Really put the pressure on the gauntlet down to Gloucester.
Gloucester got the slight breeze on their backs as well. Budget takes that one. So Bristol slightly into the drizzle, but with that 8-0 lead, it's anybody's. It's Bristol's. Hill waits for Reardon. Should he choose to push it to the fly-off? Up it goes instead, and Tyndall says, I'll try and take that one. And he does. Tyndall good in the air. Zam. Will Smith tackling him and being driven back, but Zam unloads that well. Zam again. Walker chipping it through. Reardon sweeps around and collects it, and difficult for those grubbers to be collected.
Yeah, it seems like they're sort of driving at the moment, they're carrying, they're getting isolated, so it means they're not winning quick ball. No one's there in numbers to support the ball carrier. Took the ball away, really unnecessary at that point. You need to hold on to some ball, Gloucester do at the moment. They're not going through the phases enough.
No. I want you both to get the ball in quickly, all right? And then I'll speak to him.
Well, as the sold-out signs are up, first time since last December, but the crowds this season are up 10% on last year.
That's what success does for you. Success will bring those crowds in, even on atrocious nights like this.
Good. How are you, all right?
Ow, that looks nasty.
Okay.
Hilton.
You all right? Time on.
That wasn't very pleasant.
Bristol Butcher
3-6. One drop.
doesn't go off easy.
One drop. One drop. Drop.
Buxton doesn't take that one cleanly.
Too many, Bristol.
Too many in the line-out, says the referee, so free kick to Gloucester.
Let it go.
Buxton.
Release, roll away. 8.
Thomas, Walker. It's all pretty congested in that midfield. Bristol were ready for them. Walker. Allen. Oh, lovely break from Allen. He's so balanced the way he runs. Then he gets knocked forward. And Anthony Allen shown again with one swift break how dangerous he is.
Well balanced runner. Always got the pace to go on the outside of someone, step on the inside. Lovely balance. Glides outside. Good quick ball allowed you to do that. Look to pass on the outside. Defence were there in numbers, and then tries an offload. The call came in. Perhaps he needed to hold that onto that ball. Make that next phase of play. But that's what this Gloucester backline can do. Is good, give him good, quick, clean ball.
Filthy conditions now.
Stood up. Stood up on the mark, lads.
It's pretty difficult for Nick Wood to take the ball off that pop.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
Put into Bristol. Ground getting slippery. Footing could quite easily be lost rather than kidology up front.
Who would be a professional rugby player?
I bet you used to love it. Out on the wing.
You can just picture it, can't you?
Christian Califano, who's having a really good season with Gloucester. Really enjoying his rugby, being a big success.
Yeah, and I think you'll find this Gloucester front row with Wood, Azam, Califano slightly difficult, far more difficult for the Bristol front row. Did so well against Bath last week. It's going to be a far more physical battle tonight.
He's been playing top club rugby for a long time.
I'm sure read somewhere he was a paratrooper as well in the French army, but well, the pack's going to be a good story anyway.
You like that stat, don't you? Don't mess with him. Spits out. Bristol, pop it up for Reardon. Bailey is there, waits, and mistimes that.
Not only did he mistime it, but he got buried as well when he came down. The Raiders kicked very well from the base, really put pressure in these sort of conditions. It's difficult. They even saw that ball coming down, such as the rain, and he got hit by Lemmy as he came down as well. Just to compound matters. But a terrific kick, good pressure, and it's going to be a difficult night for the back three of both sides.
Both front rows gesticulating and making their points known to the referee. Thomas gets it away cleanly to Walker. Morgan, he's got time. That's a very good clearance as well.
Yeah, Craig Morgan, who's equally comfortable in the wing, as well as full back, has a terrific left foot in him. And we might see a lot of that today. It's nice to have the ability to use the left foot. And the outer half is right-footed, that variety.
Quarter of the match gone, Bristol 8-0 up, and something to think about for Dean Ryan and Brian Redpath. Very exciting coaching partnership.
The only thing to be concerned about is the fact that Gloucester can't seem to hold on to the ball.
He got it now, and it spits up again. Bristol get the turnover. Hill again driving it long. Morgan, he touched that. And inside is 22, so he just drives it long. Big bouncing ball back to the Bristol 22. Morgan sets himself and belts the ball into row 20.
Ollie Morgan gained 40-50 yards from that. We talked about ball retention from Gloucester not being great. That's an example of that. And just gave Dahill a chance to put that ball down. That's what Gloucester can't afford to do, put pressure on themselves.
Azam saunters over now to try and make sure the line-out is clean. Nicely taken by Alex Brown. Thomas, Walker, short. Driven up aggressively there. Walker again. Allen, Tyndall. Tyndall head down route one.
A good quality line-up ball will give you that ability to get over that gain line, get the momentum going, and generate good, quick ball in the next phases.
Walker. There's Narroway, who coughed it up last time, making sure it comes back to Gloucester's way. Gore. Thomas sliding across, finding the runner that is Azam, popping it back to Narroway. Good footwork there. Gloucester, they'll be building up a head of steam, and they'll get a penalty for their trouble. That's better for them.
Yeah, that's a lot better from Gloucester. They went through the phases. We asked questions of the Bristol defence. Good ball retention. They've got so many powerful runners. Good, clean, quick ball from Alex Brown. Good punch in the midfield. Good drive. Stay in the feet. Keep the drive going. Good platform for the next phase. Good, beautifully laid back then for the next pass from Hayden Thomas.
Keeping it simple.
In conditions like this, that's what it's about. Nothing fancy. It's good, solid rugby.
One cap for England in the summer.
Yeah, might have been pushing for a place if he hadn't been injured going into these autumn games.
So Walker, who was fullback last week when Ryan Lamb was fit. So a chance for the New Zealand Maori to get Gloucester's first points.
They did want a higher kick percentage than 67%. It's not top order, but that is a very good kick.
That's what Gloucester needed, getting into the red zone, coming out with points.
Yeah, very much so. You see those Gloucester supporters, they're happy with that. They needed it. Back to good ball retention. Went through those phases earlier on, created that scoring opportunity, that penalty opportunity for Walker. They feel a lot better about themselves now.
Bookies could hardly split these two teams. Very competitive. First versus second in the league.
6 and 5 inside.
Yes, Nathan Budgett and Garth Werner coming from the side, being penalised there.
Well, Bristol actually the most disciplined team in the Premiership, giving away a penalty there, and they'll get a chance to push it back up and over halfway.
Two pretty ropey kicks from both sides there.
Walker, up it goes, down the throat of Morgan. Bristol have conceded another penalty.
Yeah, rather aimless kick there from Willie Walker. Didn't really put any pressure on Craig Morgan, but he knew the penalty was coming anyway.
There we have confirmation there that Bristol, after round 8, only conceded 79 penalties. Gloucester pretty good in third.
Yeah, it always happens when the sides are the top. Things are going well, they're full of confidence, they're less likely to concede penalties because they've normally got the momentum in those games. There's Lab going in from the offside position. Yeah. Right in front of the referee there, conceded that. That was unnecessary. As you are complimenting the discipline of the Bristol side. blatant penalty there. I know what that feeling's like. That's a great ankle, not very pleasant. He's done very well to come back.
It's going to be an important night for the open sides as well. A lot of slippy, slidey ball.
Yeah, particularly with Jake Ball playing open side for Gloucester. He isn't what you would call a traditional open side flanker, so there is width to this game. They might have a bit of an advantage.
Scrum. Line up and finish.
Frustration for Gloucester.
Yeah, line up and finish. Come down, Blue. Level. Crouch and hold.
I think it reset a couple of times just to keep out of the rain, to be honest.
Califano and Azam Wood on this near side for Gloucester. Smith needs to be kept an eye on because he really can race away from the base if he gets a chance. Nasty one for Hill to take, and he gets caught.
Yeah, it was a bad pass there. They created an opportunity for themselves initially.
Penalty for Gloucester.
Well, Dan Wardsmith did well initially. The scrum turned nicely, but in a hit in the midfield. Good ball, but a bad pass really put him under pressure. Got to be with these error counts in conditions like this. That's a difficult ball, taking the best of times, let alone when it's pouring with rain. You've got a back rower breathing down your neck as well.
Remember, both Gloucester's and Bristol's first choice nines are with England, Perry and Richards.
Just imagine the conversation there with David Hill saying, "Don't do that again, please."
That polite, yeah?
Yeah, Richard Hill there, there's a guy who did have a very, very good pass. Terrific service.
But you get the feeling Reardon may have just signed in the summer, but he'll have his pass pretty slick as he works his way through the winter. Willie Walker, 100% so far tonight. That's the view. Nearly, but not quite.
Cookman is looking wide from the first time he kicked that.
Gloucester wanted that to reduce it to 2. Hill just bangs it long, inviting an error from Gloucester. Bailey into the traffic.
He didn't really want Bailey to take that ball up. He wanted a big forward to take that ball there.
Or a big back, like Tyndall. Thomas, Walker, Buxton. Forwards coming to clear. All right, Walker inside. Oh, that was a little bit high for ball. The rib cage was exposed and Bristol got hold of him there. Turnover. Morgan tries to collect it. Goes down on it. It's anybody's. Bristol are hunting the ball down now.
That's also a penalty, I think, probably. Well, I thought that might have been penalty because that ball came off. Ollie Morgan and Tyndall picked it up for an offside position, so there might have been a penalty there. But a terrific position here for Bristol. You can't let that ball bounce on this pitch. You've seen the difficulty. And Tyndall came from an offside position to pick that ball up.
Once Bristol have managed to get the ball bouncing, it's difficult for Gloucester, isn't it?
You can't allow that ball. Even with the rain coming down, that ball is still bouncing on this pitch. Very difficult.
Bristol splits their backs. Will Smith deciding to go. There's a chink of light there, well over the game line now. Reardon, the budget, tries to flick it out. Simpson Daniel can't quite take it. Close for Bristol now. Hill, through. Walker makes the tackle. Still big danger for Gloucester. Bristol with the advantage. They want 5, not 3. Hill decides to take the 3 through the drop goal. It was a free hit and he swiveled and took it well.
Took a chance well. They have done with it when they've got into the Gloucester 22. They've scored. They sniff blood. They're very good finishing off. All that came from a mistake initially. A little nudge on the scrum. You can see as the scrum turns, just opens up nicely for Dan Ward-Smith to take a drive. A bit of holding back as well, just to create that little bit of extra yard or two for Ward-Smith.
The lad just held Boer a little bit there, didn't he? Open side on open side.
Coming back a time, but impressed the way when they do get on the 22 in that red zone. Pretty clinical.
Smith breaking and over the gain line. Reardon, up it is. Up it goes. Simpson Daniel looks for it. It's not forward. And thus the offside.
These kicks have proved so effective, so rewarding for Bristol.
It's so simple.
Not rocket science at all. Bristol do play a very simple game. Hugely effective. Very well arrayed and very impressive from the base. Plenty of height on this. Good pressure from Robinson. Simpson Daniel goes up for it, bounces off, so difficult. And an offside position. It's a horrendous evening for the back threes, particularly when the scrum half the opposing side is kicking so well from the base. And that's exactly what you want as a chaser. You want a chance. And when the box kick is that good, gives you a chance to get there.
There's the latest from Sale Sharks and Harlequins, kicking off at 7:45. Magnus Lund with the try for Sale Sharks, 14-3 so far. (11-3) Bristol lead here. Bristol just get their body positions right. But Azam has done so well to get involved there, to try and steal it, and now Bristol trying to drive him out to get the line out themselves. Going in the side from Bristol.
Captain, please, captain.
Could be trouble. Llewellyn goes across.
3 penalties by your team. Don't need your help. Thank you, excuse me. Your team are giving away 3 penalties at the maul, coming in at the side. The next player may receive a yellow card. Please talk to your players. I'll give you some time.
It's quite a threat. 3 in from the side. Could be a yellow card next time.
He said maybe a yellow card. He wasn't quite sure. But they have done it a couple of times now on the side to stop that momentum.
Time off.
And you'll carry on until the referee penalises you and stops you doing it. So there's plenty of experience in now in that Bristol pack. They've all been around the block a bit. They're allowed to do it, they'll carry on.
Gareth Llewellyn has been around the block, and he'll be very pleased with this first half so far. 11-3 is a useful lead in these conditions.
There's a wealth of experience in that pack in particular.
Takes that off the back of the tap back, and up it goes by Reardon. Thomas, Walker, skidding on. Robinson goes back. Got lots of time. He can hit it a mile if he gets it right, but when he gets it wrong, it can look a bit ugly.
A little bit hit and miss in his kicking. Weak game last week against Bath. He hit one beauty of a kick, one awful slice, but that was a great steal. We talked about the experience Gareth Winning brings. There's a great line-out steal by him. Putting hookers under pressure, putting Azam under pressure. It's a difficult night for hookers to find their man. Ball's like a bar of soap. And he's more than capable of stealing opposition ball. 37 years of age and still playing Premier League rugby.
You could be out there with him, just think about it.
No, I couldn't.
Such a controlled tap back from Gareth Llewellyn to Hilton there. Hilton, in his twilight years maybe himself, but doing such a fine job for Bristol. This is Thomas. Walker with the pass. Tyndall coming clattering upfield. Advantage being played at Gloucester, and this is straight in front of the posts.
Time off, 12.
Could be a card here.
No discussion.
Going to his pocket, and it's 10 minutes in the cooler for Rob Higgett.
Well, they were warned earlier on by the referee. You can see penalties and trying to slow down opposition ball. This time, not moving away, not rolling away. Rob Higgett after making the tackle. It's a terrific chance now. Walker to take a chance. Good drive by Tyndall, stayed on his feet. And there's Higgett there, making no attempt to move away. Flaming innocence.
So he will reappear in the second half, unless he's substituted.
I just think it's once too often.
So Bristol, usually so disciplined, having conceded 8 so far to Gloucester's 4.
Yeah. We'll be annoyed about that after showing so much discipline running up to this game.
Before today, the least yellow cards in the Premiership for Bristol, but it's one more now as Higgett sits in the dugout.
Competitive derby game as well. Sometimes the mist comes down in difficult circumstances, in different conditions. Raw atmosphere here sometimes makes you do things you don't want to do. Maybe concerned that allows Gloucester a step back into this.
He's smart, Richard Hill. He says it's just to get a better perspective, but it's to stay out of the rain, isn't it? His workhorse is down on the sidelines.
Yes.
They're getting wet.
The underlings, the staff.
We happen to be under the roof as well.
A terrific viewpoint from up there. You'll be able to see the whole of the pitch.
All the best medical care, of course, available, and they will take their time to make sure the player is okay. Tomorrow, the second one. England versus South Africa, 2 desperate teams, 2 coaches desperate for the win themselves. Who do you reckon's got the edge in that one then?
I think England will. I think South Africa blew their chance last week. They had a chance, they probably should have won. And sometimes a win is a win, regardless how it comes. I think that will give England a bit more confidence.
Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Sky Sports 2. Hilton, who's been in the wars already tonight. In he goes. Oh, dear. That looks really painful. Look at the hunger to try and get the ball.
Bravely down on that ball. As you would expect from Dave Hilton, his front row for Bristol. He worked very hard for them. Hugely impressive for them. Great work rate. Hard as they come. But he'd have felt that.
And the man who accidentally put the knee in the back happens to be his opposite number in the scrum, Christian Califano.
On nights like this, in weather conditions like this, it's going to hurt more and more as the night wears on. I don't think that was deliberate, because Dave Hilton came across very, very quickly into that ball. I wasn't quite sure whether he expected it, and Califano went in on his knees to try and fall on that ball himself.
On comes Alex Clark for Dave Hilton. And that's going to be sore. Oh, he looks in real pain.
That's going to be even worse tomorrow morning when he wakes up. Let me tell you. After an excellent performance last week, man of the match performance against Bath.
And this is a big 10 minutes or so for Gloucester. They've got a man advantage. They just got 3 points from Walker.
That is, yeah, 3:49 to go, yeah.
It was Wood actually that went in there, not Califano. Loose head on loose head.
Gloucester will be back. It's got 3 more points back to within 5, really. They really haven't had much in this first half at all. Bristol played particularly well. Gloucester, it's only 5 points down with an extra man advantage. That's not what his pack would have wanted from him, from Hill. Bad mistake.
If Gloucester can nick something else before half-time, they'll be feeling much better about themselves, and they'll be pleased that the ball just had a little bit too much on it by at least an inch and a half.
but it's not what Bristol would have wanted. Down by one man.
Thomas Walker looking for some space and dinks it deep, and that was good.
He's used those kicks well, actually. Sits back in the pocket, drills a relatively low kick, using the pitch and the skidding conditions as well. Nice, good field position now for Gloucester. And he puts pressure on Mark Regan to find his man. Down by one man in the pack.
It's a night for the forwards. It's a night for the likes of Winters and Brown. And the crowd trying to urge on their respective players. Tap back from Budget. Didn't take it cleanly. Gloucester pour through, try and get possession. They have that now. Staying cool, organising themselves.
It's not really scrum at half one. You don't want to tap back in conditions like this. Very difficult.
Gloucester want to get something out of this, but there was a small nudge forward.
There's a knock on from Azam there. He knows it. Disappointed. We were on the front foot there, Gloucester moving forward. Look at that tap back from Nathan Budget. But down by one man with Higgett off.
Filthy handling conditions.
Only 7 handling errors, which isn't bad considering. But how critical have some of those been? Because Bristol have done well from turnovers from Gloucester.
Regan got something to say, as per usual.
He's no shrinking violet, is he?
That's why he's a cult figure down here, I suppose. Ward Smith taking it up effectively and confidently. Hill hits that one in the sweet spot.
Bristol, he was Dan Ward-Smith very effectively when they're picking up from the back of the scrum. Opens up the scrum nicely, the turn comes on, just opens up that midfield. Less yardage to make to get across that gang line. Hits into the midfield with the centres on the outside half. Takes the opposition back row out of play.
He's been very successful all season.
356 metres now.
Now Gloucester with their last chance before half-time to try and take some points.
All over in the air.
It's going to be a penalty. It's going to be a shot at goal.
Pretty self-explanatory, that referee. Penalised Gloucester. Penalised Bristol rather. And all over the Gloucester jumper.
Well, it's a very wet Memorial Stadium here, but after the first 40 minutes, it's Bristol 11 and Gloucester 9. Walker very pleased to get that final penalty over just before the whistle went. And these are the match facts. Quite interesting, the way that the turnovers have been conceded. 8 from Gloucester to 3 from Bristol, Jan.
Yeah, and Bristol took advantage of that. But a lot of pressure on Gloucester initially. Gloucester really couldn't hold on to the ball. When they did, they fought their way back into the game, but Bristol very clinical in their use of that turnover ball. Scored a lot of points from it as well. I think what cost Bristol dear towards the second part of that first half was indiscipline And we commented on their how strong discipline record they had going into this game, and they've lost it here.
Yeah, it's quite interesting the way Bristol have been so disciplined throughout this first part of the season, and they've now coughed up, what, 9 penalties in the first 40 minutes, and Walker is nibbling his way back for Gloucester into Bristol's lead, and it's becoming pretty tight, isn't it?
It is becoming tight. An absorbing game, and the crowd are enjoying it. Difficult conditions here, but you can see it's very early into the game. Terrific kick again from Reardon. He's kicked very well from the base, but a lot of pressure on the back three of Gloucester. Buxton going back, they couldn't quite hold on to the ball. I said they've been very clinical of Bristol in taking advantage of these turnovers. Plenty of numbers, good carrying by Higgett, good offload, and there's Mark Regan to barnstorm over right in the corner, and they deserved their lead. They were pressurising Gloucester to making mistakes, kicking well from the base, as I said, and then capitalising on those errors. And it was all Bristol at this part of the game.
Sort of thing that Regan would like to score, isn't it? And of course he can still find the camera.
He's a happy chappy, he enjoyed that in here. But it was all Bristol, but Gloucester have fought their way back in. All that courtesy of some indiscipline from Bristol. They fought their way back in, and it's poised nicely going into the second half.
Yeah, it's a sellout here at the Memorial Ground. The weather is filthy. We'll be back for the second half.
Well, it's tight at the top of the table, and it's tight at a sold-out Memorial Stadium too. It's Bristol 11, Gloucester 9. Mark Reardon, the former Bath player, on his 170th Premiership appearance with the try. It's tight. Should it be that tight, though, Dowie?
It's always going to be tight. You know, derby matches and 2 teams at the top of the table, and you know, I would say Bristol just about deserve that, to be honest, because I think 8, 9 and 10 are having outstanding games in those conditions. You know, Danwell Smith is driving off the base. Reardon at the 9 is doing a lot of box kicking, taking a lot of pressure off Hill, and when he needs then to give it to Hill, the siege gun is down the field. So it's all about old heads, it's all about controlling the ball, and I think Bristol are just about doing it better than Gloucester at the moment.
Well, you were unhappy about the try. Why?
Offside right in front of the referee, to be honest. I mean, Bristol will be delighted, but as the kick goes in from O'Riordan at the base, the ball comes out of the back. You'll see Dan Ward-Smith right in front of the referee. Maybe a yard and a half, but certainly 2 yards in front. Whereas Dan Ward-Smith, there he is, circled, and he's the guy who turns over the ball, which then he chases down, retrieves the ball, sets up the ruck, the maul initially. They move it away, they come back to that short side, and Mark Regan crashes over. And it was just one of those decisions that it's gone nicely for Bristol. Gloucester won't be happy about it because he couldn't have been in a more obvious position for the referee, could he?
Touch judges and referees doing in rugby league. Obviously, you could go back there. There's talk about rugby union doing the same, but you know, it doesn't matter. They've got away with it, and you've got to see Regan out on the wing, poaching a try, and that's great forward power there. So Welling pushing him over, and
great drive from Higgett, great offload. Yeah. Leamy spots the opportunity, and Mark Regan doesn't try and take him on the outside wisely. Just says, "I'll back my 16-stone bullet to go through the middle of you and carry myself over." We
saw one moment from Anthony Allen, Will, but should he have done more?
He had a similar instance when he had one of his 2 caps. He had a lovely outside break, takes the ball on a lovely angle, just coasts outside, lets the ball do the work. And there you can see Ollie Morgan outside him with Craig Morgan to beat. He put the ball under one arm, which is the initial fault. Put the ball under one arm and then headed inside. Here we go. Get it back in 2. If he gets it, just has a quick look. Too late, opportunity missed, and as you say, on nights like these, you need to take every opportunity.
It's a tight game. They come few and far between these chances, and really that's 2 hands that you said, well, should have gone to Ollie Morgan, and they would have scored.
It's perfectly poised, though, as a result. It is tight. Absolutely. Let's get back to a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Rejoin Ian Evans and Will Chignall.
Well, Bristol are a phenomenal second-half team. The combined score after 8 rounds for their second 40s is 71-9. Gloucester are going to have to be ready because the half-time pick-me-up from Richard Hill is usually very effective. They come out like a train.
Good knowledge. I'm impressed with that.
Anthony Allen ready to try and make a sort of breaks, such as one that he made in the first 40 minutes. Bristol, though, leaking penalties. They're still down to 14 men. Got 4.5 minutes until Higgett can come back on.
Bristol want to regroup. They tailed off quite badly towards the end of that first half. Want to start off strong here.
Hill drives it to Narroway, up to the 22. And then he comes sprinting in to try and take it, and he doesn't quite manage it. Tyndall clips it on. But it's Brew. It gets called back by the whistle.
It was knocked on, and it was here first. And it was knocked on.
Something tells me we're going to see an awful lot of those box kicks in the second half. It is very difficult, atrocious conditions out there. Definitely keep your eyes on the ball. Wind playing tricks as well.
It was a good box kick because it was well between the winger and the fullback, wasn't it?
Very, very good, and Lenny didn't quite get there either.
Good start at the second 40 for Gloucester. This is Allen trying to find himself some space over the gain line now. Forwards arrive to make sure the ball comes back for Thomas. Short to Eustace. Up it goes. Still trying to put Bristol deep in their own 22. That's a really good kick. Well played, Thomas.
It's an excellent kick from Thomas. Really put Reardon's book in the first half. Those little dinks who let the ball roll, let the pitch. Let that ball down towards the touchline to make it very difficult for wings to chase back. A little bit rusty in the first half. Gained confidence in the second half now. Terrific position. The Gloucester put pressure on this Bristol line.
Crowd are cheering for their respective teams, making it difficult for Regan to know the call, but that worked.
That's good thinking from Regan there.
Chance to clear their lines now.
I called ruck, and you were still holding on.
Pressure evaporates that Gloucester were exerting.
Yeah, didn't panic, and that's what you want from your hooker. When you're 5 yards away from your own line, don't panic. Make sure you win the ball.
That's a good clearance. Not much of an angle.
Really up against it there, 5 yards from their own line. But Bristol have only lost 1 from their 7. That's good in these conditions. It's a little bit worse. They've lost 3 from 1-7.
Regan then. Still drizzling. Nicely taken by Downward Smith. Advantage being played at Bristol. Penalty comes now. Gloucester driving in at the side. And remember, just a second or so earlier, it was Bristol with a defensive line out 5 or so metres from their own try line.
That's a good take. Two hands there, stretching across, good athleticism. And take it out in the air as well. Gets a penalty out of it, but that's a good take in these conditions.
2 penalties conceded from Gloucester, and now Hill has put the ball on the deck, and he's having a think about going for the corner. Grabbing their way upfield now.
Hopefully things have changed, but under pressure. Barely 45 seconds ago, all of a sudden, they're now deep in Gloucester's territory. Courtesy of a couple of penalties and some good line-out play.
Narroway looks to be limping, but continuing. Remember, Adam Balding, who's captain Gloucester, is on the bench and can come on if need be. Bristol still down to 14 men. Higgett in the sin bin. Maybe happy to keep it in the forwards initially. As the clock ticks on, they can get something out of it even better. Hill.
Leamy did well to help us out to the half out there.
Hill with the drop goal attempt. Oh. Penalty going to Bristol. Morgan was quite happy to let that one bounce and nearly came off the crossbar.
I think the referee blew that up a little bit early there, to be honest. Could have left the advantage go there. I must admit, that ball could have bounced back anywhere.
Now this could have been real danger for Gloucester and a chance for Bristol as it came back there. Tyndall was onto it.
I know, but the ref had blown his whistle before Brew had a chance to put the hit in there. He would have tackled Tyndall there and driven him back over his line, but still a kickable penalty for Bristol.
This will really hurt Gloucester, particularly as Gloucester have this man advantage at the moment.
Thanks, Emma. Thank you.
Higgett just waiting to come back on after the kick. Can Hill take it to 14? No.
22.
That would have been a major bonus for Bristol. Was been down 40 men, scored in a point, 3 points. For them, it wasn't a beat.
Higgett is now on. It's 15 against 15. 2 points the difference.
Hang on, time off.
First versus second. Great West Country derby here.
One too many. Thank you. Time on.
Challenging weather conditions.
Given a word of warning as well. Rob Higgett comes through the academy system.
Walker drives that one upfield. Downward Smith. Tries to find a hole. Oh, he's got right through. Brilliant running, and look how quick he is. Steaming upfield. What a phenomenal run from Ward Smith. Higgett chips it through. Morgan goes back. He stays cool and lets it go over the try line before he touches it down. But downward Smith. What a run!
Ali Morgan with a huge sign of relief for that ball to dribble over the line. This is the type of guy you want to bring the ball back from a long kick. But through that first time, admittedly weak tackling, but great pace. Wonderful pace to get away from a big man to move that quickly. It's so difficult to bring down. It's brought his crowd alight.
Morgan takes it up, real pick-me-up for his own teammates, that from Ward Smith. He wants a bit more. Trying to stay strong and roll and wriggle his way out of contact. A reared Hill. Banged up by Winters. Options left and right. Brew having a dart himself.
Just doing enough to slow that ball down. Crowd weren't happy about it. The ref was.
Llewellyn tried to stay upright so his forwards could bind onto him, but so Reardon, Nellab. Zan makes the tackle.
It's not good play there, Lab there. Needed to stay in field. No reason to go to touch there. A good bust, good step off that foot. Just moves away, and that waltzes through the tackle of Nick Wood there. Should have been put on the ground, but great pace to move away. That's great pace. He's looking for support runners. Support runners can't get to him. Because of the pace, he took that ball through that defensive line. Having the ball 8 times already today. Huge influential player for Bristol.
That's it, Plymouth Albion. Richard Hill managed to get him up to Bristol. He's having a dream day. He wants a dream win. Bristol staying in field. Reardon, Hill, short. There's Brew, Hill, miss pass, Robinson. The switch to Morgan. Tackle comes in.
It's a good tackle by Ollie Morgan there on Craig Morgan.
Ward Smith took it up, but Gloucester lined him up, and he spilled it. Turnover. Allen. Simpson Daniel gets caught. Advantage still being played. Tyndall. Buxton straightening. Nearly up the halfway line. Walker on his own, so who hoops it upfield? Morgan's got time.
Buxton, I must admit, had Bailey outside him. Had his wingman outside. Giving him a chance to have a run. But end-to-end stuff at the moment. Lots of good runs, and effective running.
Time off. Free kick on the 15 and 22.
Desperate for the ball. Bristol dominated possession this second half. Actually, they did the start of the first half. Really very compact. Nice rugby. guilty in a couple of cases, turning the ball, just allowing Gloucester to relieve some of that pressure. There's an injury in the far side on the Bristol players. Worrying for Bristol.
The rain is relentless. It doesn't make it easy for any of the players. And Alfie Tuala comes out from the warmth of the dugout to the conditions. Narroway and Nick Wood take their leave. Adam Balding takes his place, so that'll be an easy replacement at number 8. Colazzo is on for Wood. There's Balding.
I'm trying to shout more.
Now this is important for Bristol. Hill walks gingerly towards the action.
Hang on, hang on.
He doesn't look all that comfortable at the moment.
We are waiting.
Bristol will be hopeful that he regains. Injury doesn't look happy at all out there.
The referee's going to want to get a decision one way or t'other.
Let's go. It's a free kick just here, please.
It's a free kick off the back of the mark taken by Morgan.
You can just kick it straight out, yeah. Doctor's offside though, hang on a second.
You can imagine off the back of the Gloucester line out, should they take it cleanly, I think Hill might get a bit of attention.
It's a rugby, you know exactly if someone has taken a bang, you know exactly where that ball's going to go next. There's a bit of pressure. Like a tackle, but that is a terrific kick by Craig Morgan. Wrong side of the field for a left-footed player, strikes it beautifully. Tyndall takes the ball up. Gets hit by his own man, El Abd. And straight into him and catch him right on the cheekbone there. And that's a sickening hit. That would have hurt. Recovered that.
No glass chin for Hill. Vaseline up. Thomas just dinking it. Up it goes in return. It's not taken cleanly. Morgan. Bristol are hunting down the fullback for Gloucester.
Leamy can't get along with the chase well there.
Tyndall kicks the ball very well end over end and making a safe touch.
Terrific kick there by Tyndall. There's the up and under from Leamy. Chase goes on. Susan Daniel not quite sure about that. The ball goes loose, but Leamy doesn't stop. He carries on with the chase. Puts Morgan under pressure.
David Leamy had it. Illness against Bath, he was withdrawn late, but he is back in the thick of it tonight, as is Ward Smith. Flicked out by Reardon. Higgett wanting to make amends for his time in the sin bin. Hill taking it up himself. Lovely half break from the fly half. Simpson Daniel goes back.
He's up.
Fair play to David Hill. You think he might just ship it on off the back of the injury, but he saw the gap and he took it.
Yeah, a terrific play by Dave Hill after taking that knock as well. Question whether Gloucester would run on him. In fact, Hill took the challenge on. Lovely dummy to the outside, trying to find Morgan. Morgan couldn't quite get all of it properly, lost control of that ball. But a terrific show and go there. Dummied inside, then outside. Good fend and a good early pass from Morgan. Didn't quite have control of that ball. Exactly what he was trying to do. Trying to find Robinson on the outside. Never quite got hold of it. A good play by Hill.
Thanks for listening there. You had one shot, no problem.
He's a very good player, and as we've just seen, he's useful with ball in hand, as well as kicking it.
Looks strong as well. Stocky player, physically very strong, able to fend off players, strong in the tackle area.
Much quieter, thanks.
Looks at Arsenal. They do so much more these days than they used to.
A good signing from Richard Hill to complement the likes of the Bristolians, such as Mark Regan. His time up at Leeds and Bath as well, but very much a Bristolian. The ball spills. Walker hammers it upfield. Morgan takes that well. Outside is 22, of course, so up it goes. Azam did not want that. Almost hit him on the back of the head.
Maybe he was walking away from that ball.
Trying to work his way round the cover.
It's a red
Ball
line
went up the air an awful long way. I wasn't quite sure whether it was where Craig Morgan intended it to go. He wanted to kick the ball down the tram lines. And he kicked it towards the inside. And Azam just turned his back at it. He wasn't interested. He didn't want to know about that one. That's all yours, Simpson Daniel.
Yeah, clear call for Simpson Daniel.
Yours.
Nicely taken from Brown.
Still holding, still holding.
The next Bristol player himself, of course. Up it goes from Thomas. See how Lee Robinson is in the air. Goes back, crucially, and it's Bristol's ball.
Elab did well to get back there as well.
Bailey getting hold of Louis and Brew. Being caught by Tyndall. Tyndall trying to get his hands on the ball that's slurred up minimum. Hill. Budget knocks it forward. Buxton goes back, tries to flick it up to Walker. Walker picks that one up nicely. And Gloucester think there might be a bit of space. Morgan chipping it along the tram lines, and Bailey sees the ball just dribble into touch. Pace being picked up a little bit here. Bristol 11, Gloucester 9. Just 2 points in it.
End to end. I think for the moment, both sides taking the ball. Box hit from Hayden Thomas. It was up in the air. Elab does well to get back behind Robertson then, and a good offload then, move that ball away, moves the point of focus, turns defensive position into a counter-attacking. Elab did particularly well to get back there.
Allen gets one hand on it, Crompton gets two. Bristol know how important it is to retain their discipline. Gloucester, of course, within penalty range on the scoreboard. Bailey getting caught.
And who was there? Lemmy again. Good chase. Good work by Bailey to get back. Good chase by Lemmy, putting pressure on him.
Tyndall.
Leave him.
The ball spinning back towards Allen, who was chasing it. Hayden Thomas goes to ground. Tyndall hits it infield as far as Ward Smith. He gets it now, and you know what he's going to have a go at. He gets gang tackled.
Gloucester with that in numbers. They knew the danger there.
Robinson gets a horrible ball, and Simpson Daniels after. He does well. This is Gloucester with the turnover. What can they do with it? Bristol snuff it out.
Oh, there was a glimmer of a chance there to put Lee Robinson away. Nathan Budget knew that pass way above. Imagine how high that pass is. Lee Robinson is not exactly a short man. That pass to be above his head. Just a chance there for a counter-attack from Gloucester.
Gloucester will be searching for this turnover to steal possession. Nearly get hold of it.
Knocked on by Red.
First knock on from Gloucester. They're trying to squeeze Regan there.
Going to put pressure on both hookers. These sort of conditions. He's taking a nasty cut to the eye as well. Right on the side. Both line out to putting pressure on the opposition. Well competed at the front there. And he catches his top side of his head at the top of the There's a Gloucester player there. That's a nasty cut.
Regan, the try scorer from the first half. He's not going to want to go off, but he might have to just to get stitched up. Nah, it's all right, he says he doesn't want to go off.
They drag him off, kicking and screaming. He's not going to go off in a game like this in a sellout crowd.
Two points the difference.
As you go back to the try he scored later on in the game, terrific pressure, but then lovely offload off the floor. Just allowed him a chance in the corner. Good body position as well, good upper strength, upper body strength, and he loved that. Everybody caught in that back home, playing it time and time again, boring the children senseless.
Do you enjoy your try celebrations when you scored? Or do you just trot back modestly?
On in black and white television anyway.
It's a full house.
Thank you, let's go.
Crowds are really good for Bristol.
Great for the club, great for the city as well. That team performing well. Strong history, proud history as well.
Regan strapped up in the thick of it. Gloucester trying to get hold of the ball carrier and then maybe the ball. Reardon waits. Hill again driving it low. Morgan hitting it very high. Ward Smith is there, swallows it up, and the put-in is Bristol's.
That's what he wants. Brilliant inspiration as a player to be there, commanding presence. The line out when he's carried, when he's defended, and this time under the high ball as well. That's what he wants. He's not going to let that ball go. Outnumbered. He's not going to let it go.
Slowly, no, slowly. No, leave
Dan
him.
Ward Smith's been in the England mix-up.
I'm happy on this side, thank you.
Tomorrow, 2 p.m, England versus South Africa, Sky Sports 2.
Certainly Dan Ward Smith. A strong case forward. The selection for future internationals.
Gloucester. Walker chips it through. Simpson Daniel is racing onto this one. And Robinson didn't seem in control of that. Kicked it dead.
Scrum, red.
And it's a scrum Gloucester. And the Gloucester forwards started that one. Well, that fine scrum against the head.
Yeah, good nudge on as well. They turned that ball over. Lovely kick behind. Robinson not quite sure what to do there, whether to fall down on the ball. He should have fallen on that ball.
If he's not bound,
Put that ball back dead. Great field position now for Gloucester to attack. 5 yards out. Scrum. Pressure's on Bristol.
One excellent scrum from Gloucester just moments earlier. They set themselves for maybe another big one. It's getting pretty heated in those front rows. Patrice Galazzo, the French international, is on as well, making an all-French front row, alongside Azam and Califano.
Two packs of warriors going head-to-head.
Debney is fluent in French, so we'll know what to say to that French front row. Ball's out, says the referee.
Much cordial going on there.
One back for Bristol.
That's what we want after conceding that. Hit against the head earlier on. Bristol fighting their way back as well. That's a good scrum from them. That's exactly the type of response. That's the type of response Richard Hill would want from his pack.
Still a crucial position for Bristol as they try to clear their lines. Darren Crompton, ever present at tight head.
That front row, they work together so often this season. And we sort of read each other's minds. We're there as a unit. Off in the front row. We're there together. It's a collective aspect of it.
You know what, them? That's what they said you did.
Regan maybe getting a bit of attention from a Gloucester boot. You can imagine that Gloucester front row
Cheers.
are going to try and really drive at Bristol now.
It's not going to be for the faint-hearted, that front row battle. Battle-hardened faces.
Crouch and hold, engage!
Zam pops up there. The pressure, imagine the pressure being exerted by both sides in that area now.
Pretty solid hit as those front rows engaged.
Penalise you for standing up, or you for putting get it in. Crouch and hold, engage!
Defensive scrum for Bristol. Reardon needs to make sure it's solid. He'd been told to get it in. Gloucester are driving and trying to put massive pressure on this Bristol scrum.
You can't begin to imagine the pressure has been exerted, the sort of power in those two packs. How difficult that is.
I'm being as loud as I can.
Any weakness cruelly exposed in that sort of environment is unforgiving.
Christian Califano, Olivier Zam, living for this sort of moment. The game could hinge on it.
We talk about all week, looking ahead to these sort of key battles, key contests going on up front.
Great support for Bristol, but also a healthy contingent of Gloucester fans that have come down. Big scrum, really big scrum as we go into the final quarter.
Time on.
Referee might play a part at some point.
How crucial might this set of scrums be in the overall picture? We reset again.
Referee seems patient at the moment.
Plenty of verbals going on as well. And who's there? Mark Regan, as you would expect. Given his poor Pennyworth.
Crouch and hold, engage!
Reardon is very pleased. He doesn't even have to put the ball in. It's a penalty to Gloucester. Dries Galasso is apoplectic with rage.
He's not happy at all with that decision. You see that pressure. Good solid hit and a good hit. And straight down. Now being penalised. That's come from the touch judge probably. As Calazo going straight down on that hit.
Injury.
He's still steam still coming out of his head. He's not happy at all. Livid in fact.
Steam and blood. Bristol 11, Gloucester 9. It is hard, it is physical, it is uncompromising.
Is that water? Thank you very much.
Dean Ryan on the left and Dennis Betts there in the middle with Brian Redpath. Redpath, of course, such a fine scrum half himself, as is Richard Hill. They know the importance of the scrum halves tonight.
Thank you. Don't dummy jump. Stay out then, stay out.
So Regan.
I can see him. Wait for the throw.
Should he get the ball in? He does. And Bristol will be extremely pleased because they get their penalty from the scrum, now from the line out, and they're almost up to halfway off the back of this kick. Maybe past halfway.
A roar of approval from the crowd there. They were happy with that decision. See Winters got a terrific take by him. Brown grabbing hold of him by the collar on the way back. A good take by Winters. And an awful lot of pressure from Alex Brown.
Look at that, it's Gloucester, 5 penalties conceded in the second 40.
Yeah, we talked about Bristol's indiscipline in the first half. They've worked on that. And Gloucester have been the side concede penalties.
Bristol is on for Rob Higgett. Alfie Tualo is on for Nathan Budgett in the back row. So Bristol with fresh legs. Bristol with a 2-point lead. And now it's the home side, who were on their own try line just moments ago. Now into the Gloucester half. Reardon had quite a lot of time to make up his mind there. Simpson Daniel well positioned.
It's not a good kick, really. There's no pressure at all on Simpson Daniel. That was a good play by Darren Crompton in particular. Good driving play. It was a good position in the midfield. Really bad useful a kick from Brian O'Riordan there.
Simpson Daniel well positioned though inside his 22.
It was a nothing kick. Nothing on there at all, to be honest. No real pressure. I'm not quite sure what the objective in mind was there.
So Gloucester, top of the league against Bristol, second. 2 points the difference. Play on, says the referee, and Dan Ward-Smith pounces on that. Hill. Getting pretty abrasive in the midfield. Reardon. Hill takes his eye off the ball. It's advantage first of all to Gloucester.
2 knock-ons. First was by Bristol.
Will be a put in to Gloucester.
And Bristol trying to move the ball there, but caught behind the gain line. Really a good defensive press there from Gloucester, really pushing Bristol back. Be careful when they do go wide. It's the right ball. The right time to go wide.
A lot of movement in that scrum. Thomas. He's waiting. Walker nods, he says he's ready. If Thomas wants to pass it, but he hits that one high. Tualo slides, he's looking to straighten now. Just about over the gain line. Reardon, back to Hill. Up it goes. Very cute. Straight to his opposite number, Reardon, who hits it straight up in the air again. Tyndall shouts loudly and confidently. Now he puts it up. Where's this ball going to bounce? To Hill. Now Morgan. Califano went down on that one. Ball spits out. Baxton.
Look at him, the kicking has been a mixed bag to say the least. Some wonderful kicking and some pretty woeful kicking as well.
Balding rolls and turns his way out of the first tackle. Thomas, Tyndall coming into this game a little bit more, pushing that one deep, and Simpson Daniels after it, and Lee Robinson has just belted that one off the pitch.
Well, I really have no idea why he did that, to be honest. No real pressure. He could have fallen on that ball. That's the second time he's hit the ball dead. He grab a kick through from Tyndall. No one's really breathing down his neck. And then Craig Morgan inside him as well. Shrugging his shoulders, thinking, what on earth are you doing?
That is ultra-conservative, isn't it? He had time to go down on that.
I think that's conservative. I think that's panic, to be honest, not conservative. He panicked there. Really no need.
Sometimes Robinson can be quite brilliant, can't he? Other times...
He looks he's very unorthodox as a player. He does the things you least expect him to do, and sometimes it's very effective. And at times he looks like a rabbit caught in headlights. A big rabbit. Nevertheless, elements of his game he needs to work on.
Hill is coming off at a very important part of the game, and Jason Strange comes on, an experienced manipulator of a game. He can work the ball around the pitch, and this is a big scrum again. Play on, says the referee. Gloucester do so well. Tyndall goes back. Bristol have caught him. They had a defensive scrum on their own line just seconds earlier. Now they're in the Gloucester 22. What a turnaround.
So what happens in conditions like this? Quick turnover, kick downfield and a chase. All of a sudden, encamped in your own line. 80 yards back upfield. And I think Robinson would be in a huge sigh of relief. That pressure came through. Bristol hunting as a pack there. Solid scrum. I think a boot came through. Stopped that ball being passed out of that scrum. And in there in numbers. Chasing as a pack. No time for Tyndall. Worked well to get back there. No time to do anything with that. And the pressure was on. Quickly things changed.
Gloucester have had their positional chances with those two scrums in almost exactly the same position, conceding a penalty off the back of the first scrum, and then it breaking down at the base just there.
He said Bristol were very clinical in that first half, taking their chances well. Gloucester now have been camped on the Bristol line twice and come away with nothing, as he said. I to regret that.
The referee said the ball didn't go 5, and one of the most experienced tight heads in the Premiership, Christian Califano, is being replaced by one of the most inexperienced, Jack Forster, just 19, but
it's a free kick.
Yeah, it didn't go 5 yards. Nice attempt from Mark Regan. Did it well in the earlier on to Crompton. That time didn't quite go 5.
Up it goes. Robinson knocked it on.
Advantage knock on.
And Gloucester are beginning to work that ball into Robinson's territory.
All these box kicks so often cause turnovers and mistakes in the opposition teams.
Tyndall, Morgan being slithered a touch. The ball eventually finds its way to the touchline again, and Dean Ryan might be getting a little bit frustrated underneath.
Pacing and prowling on the touchlines. You see bodies flying everywhere, covering across. Bristol getting across in numbers there. It's not any chance. Out from Gloucester. Oh, diving in.
Harlequins fighting back against the champions. Adrian Jarvis with the penalties to take them within 2.
6, that's fine.
After losing last week to the Falcons, so we want to get a winner of tonight's game.
Yeah, Harlequins having won the last 2, so they're getting some momentum. Sale quickly losing it. Bristol, inch by inch, working their way upfield. Gloucester trying to spoil this maul into the last 10 minutes. Bristol with this slender lead.
A little bit ragged, but it got them going. Got some yardage.
Bailey does well, but gets caught. Great chasing.
Leamy again has chased well. How many chances to run with the ball? He's been chasing those kicks. Only good winger will do. And you never know one of these days that ball might go loose. And a ball bouncing into Leamy's hands. You've got to be there to sniff out any opportunities. And his chase has been good. He's been tireless and chasing down all these kicks.
Great support from the crowd. Evening, but which set of supporters will have a satisfying evening? Bristol at the moment. cramps under the ball. Heave, screamed the partisan Bristol crowd.
That drive going, and those legs pumping, sapping the energy levels out of this Gloucester pack.
Gloucester have done well. Poor.
Not held!
Maybe numbers for Gloucester here. Nice ball that Tyndall will run onto. Big hit going in though.
That's a terrific pick by Neil Brew on his opposite number, Tyndall.
Walker pushing it behind Robinson. What's Robinson going to do this time? Run his way into touch.
He didn't pick that one dead. Once a team thinks there's a weakness in your game, they're going to put that ball over your head, make him turn time and time again. So you saw that driving play initially. Great steal from Azam, put him in this position. And that dink over the top of Robinson. He knows that kick's going to be coming.
And Gloucester have spent reasonable periods of this second half in this corner. A couple of big scrums, now a line-out.
Crucially, they come away with no points from all of these key positions in the second half. They've been there, as you said, a couple of times and emerged with nothing.
Bristol have kept their discipline. Gloucester be keen. That's all they want is a penalty to nibble their way into the lead. Bristol standing firm so far. The Gloucester forwards beginning to get a trundle on now. Got advantage. They got a shot at goal. Driving their way towards the Bristol line. Going in the side. Bristol have conceded the penalty. Big moment now for Walker.
He wasn't.
Good driving play by Gloucester. I think they've taken the leaf out of the Bristol book in the first half. They've used those little box kicks, those little dinks going. Terrific take by Alex Brown there. The athletic second row. And a great drive through. Put the pressure on. They know the penalty's coming. And this is a huge opportunity now for Willie Walker.
So Walker with a massive kick for his club. Gloucester unbeaten all season. Bristol unbeaten here at home.
You can see what it means to that supporter.
No neutrals in this ground. Walker lining it up. He strokes it masterfully. Gloucester are in the lead.
He might not be the most consistent of kickers. You can see what he means to those supporters. They're happy. And he does strike him nicely. There you go. Bisect the post perfectly in the middle. That's a lovely kick from Willie Walker. And the pressure was on. A man stood up. That's a great position to be in.
The clock is now ticking against Bristol. 1 point the difference.
7-8 blue, go back. 7-8 blue. Still going forward.
Gloucester still working their way infield and upfield. They'll feel a lot happier now as the scoreboard stands. Every ounce of strength, hunger and attitude being used now by the players. Up it goes again. Levy underneath it. No, he takes that one well. Bailey wraps him up. Reardon. Strange playing full position. As far as Morgan.
He's inside.
From inside is 22. Bristol on the attack.
They've been driven on by the crowd. Desperate to get their team back into this game.
Bristol on the precipice of losing their unbeaten home record this season.
Good solid defence by Gloucester there. No gaps there by Earl.
Morgan from fullback. Gloucester all over that, trying to turn it over. Not quite.
Brew there trying to find the holes, non-existent holes in the Gloucester defence. But crucially held on to possession. So got put in this scrum. Clock is running.
The crowd cheering their teams to the final whistle. Instructions still flying down from on high.
Nigel Hill showing no motion there. Just imagine inside. He's going through.
Keep listening. Could have, maybe, given a penalty there. Okay. Could have, maybe.
Bristol 11, Gloucester 12. Pretty bald second half, but a crucial 3 points for Gloucester from Willie Walker on the 76th minute.
So what we want to do now is concede a penalty.
Hey, everyone's got an excuse, haven't they?
Just a minute and a half or so left to play. Gloucester wanting possession, but this is downwards Smith. So difficult to bring down. Bristol with possession.
Release Reds! Release Red!
Round the fringes, trying to get themselves in a position to take points.
Last minute!
Strange is back and waiting. He's going to leave it to his forwards for the moment. Forwards working their way upfield. Strange now gets hold of it. The ball just gets picked up by Reardon initially to save the day. Strange, short. Strange needs his forwards to take him upfield a bit before a possible drop goal. Still the tackles come thumping in. Gloucester need to retain their discipline. Bristol would love to get themselves a penalty chance.
Release! 19 release!
Into the 10th phase now. Fighting for that game line.
Yeah, good discipline from Gloucester. Not conceded a penalty so far, and an awful lot of pressure from Bristol. Bristol maintaining their composure.
This is the last play. Bristol getting closer and closer to the 22. Strange is back in the pocket now. Maybe he's going to have a dart at the drop goal. Ward Smith wriggling his way upfield. Bristol getting closer. Onto the 22 now. Through 14 phases. Strange still in the pocket. Leaves it to his forwards. Getting closer and closer. There's nobody out wide for Bristol. It's going to be done up front through the forwards to try and put themselves in a position for Strange to go for that drop goal and the 3 points that will win it for Bristol. Here we go. Looking for the drop goal. He has got it. Under immense pressure. He has nailed the drop goal. Drama on the final whistle.
That is wonderful for him, Bristol, and through the phases, wonderful composure. They were exactly what they're trying to do, trying to buy Strange some time. Great field position, great experience. So the nous of this experienced Bristol Park just created the opportunity for him, beautifully taken. That's one of the better constructed drop goals you will ever see, and a great way to finish off a game.
It was done by the forwards, inch by inch. They worked themselves into a position for their replacement fly half. The forwards worked so hard in filthy conditions. The Bristol crowd can cheer long into the night, thanks to Strange.
A wonderful play, sat back in the pocket. No one panicked, knew exactly what to do. Rifle it right between the posts. You can see Alex Brown desperate to get there, just didn't get there in time. A little bit of relief. Look at the faces, Bristol supporters.
You thought 2 or 3 minutes before the end Gloucester might have nicked it, but Regan and his friends have created such heartache for the travelling Gloucester supporters.
I honestly thought they'd won it after that penalty from Willie Walker. Minutes to go, but great composure. Some wonderful play by so many from the Bristol pack in particular. But my Guinness man of the match for his all-round contribution, ball winning, ball carrying, defending, is Dan Ward-Smith. An inspirational figure for his Bristol teammates. Dan Ward-Smith, my Guinness man of the match.
He gave it so much go forward. May not have been pretty and expansive, but it was still enthralling, wasn't it?
It was indeed. His contribution all round, alongside the likes of Ronald, Mark Regan, who also stood strong for the Bristol pack, but Dan Ward-Smith gave him so much carrying ability, ball winning ability in the line out as well. He was a disappointed man. Thought his Gloucester team had come back into this first half very much. Team under fought back well, just not enough at the end. Great character and resilience by the Bristol Shogun side.
And the Bristol team are now receiving a standing ovation. It means so much. There's such phenomenal team spirit in this Bristol setup.
You see what it means to Mark Regan, can't you? Written all over his face. There's a man who's worked hard, believe me. He's worked hard, that's not the passes, but he's chased, been tireless in his work ethic. Good work rate by the whole of his team. They've taken responsibility as a collective. They give their all, they support each other in a time of need. They didn't panic. We thought they might have lost this game. They fought back well, put us in great position, and all that experience they had came to the forefront. Give an opportunity for that man, Strange, a winning drop goal.
Pretty difficult to come off the bench as well, Cole. Seen Hill orchestrate the game for Bristol. He was ice cool, wasn't he?
Strange has done very well for Bristol since he's been up here. And obviously, David Hill has gone and take his position in outside half. But to come off the bench, as he said, he is calm and as collected as that. And hit that drop goal, winning drop goal over in the very last minute of a West Country derby game. That's what he wants. That's what his supporters will love him for.
So Bristol at the death have snatched back victory. They remain unbeaten at the Memorial Stadium. They go top of the league thanks to their last gasp win here over Gloucester. Final score, Bristol 14, Gloucester 12.
Well, they do indeed. What an amazing finish. You saw Mark Regan mouthing, "We are top." And here's confirmation. Bristol top the league. Gloucester's unbeaten record is over. They dropped to second place. They're now 3 points behind Bristol. What an amazing finish that was. We'll have details of the Sale Harlequins game when we come back. Not sure we can take such a dramatic finish at Twickenham tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. It's England against South Africa, 2 o'clock. On Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Then on Sunday, it's Saracens against Worcester, 1:30, Sky Sports 3 and HD2. And then the World 15 against South Africa. That's at 2:55 on Sky Sports 3 next Sunday, December the 3rd. That will be an intriguing contest. But what an intriguing contest we have had at Memorial Stadium. A full house, the first full house since December 2005. Were on the edge of their seats when this happened. Last kick of the game, Jason Strange and Bristol at top of the table. All the reaction from Will and Dowie on the way.
Thanks very much. Dan, is that everything you expected, nicking it at the end, or do you think it had just left your grasp in the final minutes?
Yeah, we were a little bit worried there, but I mean, it was a matter of trying to keep hold of the ball once we were in the lead, and we couldn't manage to do that. We kept turning it over, put pressure on ourselves, did everything we could to lose it, but brilliant there, chippy at the end. with a drop goal, first one he's ever had. Misses it every time in training, so we're over the moon. Yeah, I mean, it's never going to be pretty, but...
Was it about keeping the game plan as simple and keeping the error count low?
Yeah, I mean, the first half, into that wind and the horrible conditions, it was about keeping in touch and trying not to fall behind. And, you know, in the second half, though, we thought we could play a bit more field position. Yeah, I mean, errors in these conditions are going to kill you, so it's just about making the least mistakes. Not sure we made the least mistakes, but we came away with it anyway, so over the moon.
Do Bristol have the self-belief that they can do something special this season?
I don't think any of us thought it'd be doing quite this well. You know, we were hoping to improve on last year, and we're looking pretty good at the moment to do that, but none of us expected to be top of the league at this point.
But how's the self-belief? You must believe now, because time and time again you're bringing down some of the bigger teams in the Premiership.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to believe now, so well, I don't know what to say really. We'll keep training, keep doing what we're doing, and try and improve our game, and you know, see where it takes us. But we're really happy at the moment. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
How is it from yourself as well? Because you must feel that you're right on form in the England mix. Feeling pretty good about life?
Yeah, it's going well for me at the moment. You know, nothing says it's going to continue, but I'll be doing everything in my power. You know, training hard and trying to improve my game. Coach is here working with me, so you know, I'm hoping I can put in some solid performances over the coming months and see what happens.
Well, Ian Evans, thought you were red hot tonight. You are the Guinness Premiership man of the match. Congratulations. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers, Dan. Well done.
Thank you.
We'll talk more about him in just a second, but first, what a finish that was, Will.
Speechless for it. They kept the ball so well, they didn't panic. They went to the big guys. Gareth Llewellyn set up one, look, Regan was in the middle of it, Hilton. We thought for a second, and they just nicked an extra 3 or 4 yards with a little burst there, which got them in the right slot. And then you can see Gloucester in the traps, they're like sprinters, they know what's coming, and yet they still can't do anything about it. And that's, I mean, it's not the best struck drop goal in the world, but it's all about keeping his head down and thinking, I'm going to take out the people coming at me, ignore them. It's like a bunker in golf, it's in front of the green, ignore it, it's not even there. Play, swing through it, keep your head down, do all the things you can control, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Not dissimilar to 2003, the final away, the way they kept the ball kept moving forward.
Terribly struck drop goal that went over and won a game, and it doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter.
Now, let's have a word about the man of the match, Dow. Is he a future England player?
Well, I think England's lost his Bristol's game. I think he should be playing tomorrow. I've said that for the last couple of weeks. There is no one as dynamic as that lad in the British Premiership at the moment, or the English Premiership, I should say. And if he isn't good enough to play, he should be on the bench. And Impact, him coming on, I think he's playing week in, week out at that standard. Busting tackles, strong, he will carry the ball, he will nick line-out ball, he will secure line-out ball, he will tackle like a winger. He's the quickest thing I've seen off the back of the scrum.
What, he goes 60 yards?
I mean,
do you agree, Will?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's almost a shame that the Premiership came in and said you can have him for all 4 games. Yeah. You can understand why Martin Corrie's going to stay. They've won last week. He's the captain. They want to try and build on that. So you can understand that selection. A week before, Martin wouldn't have been allowed to play all 4 games, and I think Dan Will-Smith was lined up to play and would have had a game. So it is a shame for that. You hope that during the Six Nations, with the Saxons, he'll get a couple of games with the A-team. England have an A-team game. He's got to play in at least that, but it's certainly he's got to train with the squad and learn.